Hey folks, this is Sam Roberts.
Hey, this is Kim Mitchell.
This is Hannah Georges.
This is Matt Mee.
This is Derry Grant from Honeymoon Suite, and you are listening to...
You're listening to
The
Hulk Caesar Show.
Welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show. I am your host, Hulk Caesar, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Newfoundland songbird, the real McCoy, Emily McCoy. Emily, it's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you.
We are, of course, joined by our co-host, the notorious one, Blackjack Dicky Strickland. Dicky, what's happening?
I don't know where you got the blackjack.
Oh, I like it. It's a new one. We're trying it out. This week's episode is brought to you by our friends at the Resource Center for the Arts at the LSPU Hall, Antidote for Life, Memory, Madness, and Beagles. Starring last week's guest, the wonderful Bernie Stapleton, opens on February 27th at the LSPU Hall and runs until March 2nd. And you can find ticket information and more at lspuhall.ca. Boy, that was fun having Bernie in here, wasn't it?
I love her.
She's
so
amazing.
much.
We all want to be Bernie when we grow up.
She's such a vibe. Truly, truly.
Amazing. Big thank you to the Resource Center for the Arts at the LSPU Hall for supporting the local arts, including financial support for this very program. Now, tonight's guest has been entertaining audiences all over North America for more than a decade, starting as a blues player for one half of the nationally recognized duo Earl and Coffin. He has since worked with an array of artists ranging over multiple genres, from fronting the Reckless Hearts to his award-winning solo work to opening for Nickelback at last year's Churchill Park Festival. He's got to be in the conversation for the local ruler of rock and roll. On March 16th, he will help a friend of the show, Alan Doyle, open the brand new Sound House at the Jag Hotel. His new single, Dive Bar, is available now wherever you get your music. Nick Earle, welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Not only is Nick going to chat with us, but he's going to double dip and perform as our musical guest as well. That's 2 checks. That's pretty exciting.
Nice. Man, I don't even get 1 check right now. I'm unemployed. That sucks. Good for you, though. Why don't you tell us how you got started in music? Did you have like a music-oriented, family-oriented? I don't know what the word is.
Both my parents are both musicians. My mom more so a singer. My dad played guitar and sang and a couple other instruments. And the whole story of me starting to play music was hanging out with my dad and him listening to Walk of Life by Dire Straits. And that whole record over and over, driving around. And I came back one day after hanging out with my dad, and he was going to work. And my mom's like washing dishes in the kitchen. I was like 2 or 3 years old, and there's a toy piano kind of in the kitchen, and I did the little like of Walk of Life, and my mom was like, "Can you do that again?" And I was like, "Sure." This is the story anyway, and I play it again, and immediately they signed me up for piano lessons. So that's how that started.
They thought you were going to be like Beethoven, and then you turned out to be a rock and roll musician.
5 years later, I started playing guitar, and I never played piano again. But
I was going to ask if you play piano. Actually.
Not well. Okay. I do it on my own records. I guess I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Did you take guitar lessons?
I did like 2 lessons with Adam Foran was my piano teacher at the time, and I brought my guitar in, and he was like, "Man, you're all right." And I think the whole structured lesson thing I didn't love, and so sitting around just jamming with my dad a lot was great. And then I started like finding myself playing chords that I didn't even really know the names of, and just playing along with the radio and different records, CDs or whatever. Then, and then I just eventually 8 years later, found out the names of the things I was playing by just looking online, like, what are these shapes and what am I doing? But yeah, like my whole, really learned to play by ear. And I think that helps in a lot of scenarios, and then trying to get the theory side after. But yeah, that's where I really started.
Cool. You started young with Earl and Coffin and found success early. What was that experience like?
That was crazy. Being like a 16-year-old in an acoustic blues duo, it's just you're like dressing up in suits. And
I used to watch you at the ship all the time.
Yeah. And
it's cool.
It was a shtick and a gimmick. And I will say it did originate from a band called Stompbox. I do have to mention that so quickly because we formed in 2014 and played a few marquee local gigs. The biggest one we did was that Canada 150 celebration with like Shannigan and the Ennis Sisters at City Hall. Ooh. And I remember local legend Tony Murray called and was like, we're looking for like the boys to do this gig. And it was like, well, are you looking for a duo? Or it's like, no, Stompbox, the boys in suits, we want them. And that was our big send off. But yeah, from that blues rock band, myself and Joe were doing more acoustic oriented gigs, and we found ourselves literally playing in every province, and found ourselves down the States a little bit. Just we played we represented the East Coast of Canada in the International Blues Challenge in Memphis.
Wow.
And
How old were you then?
I think I was 18.
Wow.
And
That's so cool.
and like the two whitest dudes of all time just playing blues. So there was something a little strange about it, but it was beautiful. And once we played, it was nice to be accepted in that in the music community there, even if it was just for a brief moment in time.
I remember you guys when you were pretty young, actually, playing at the open mics that we used to put off. And I remember you guys getting up and singing like full-blown Rush songs, and everybody's mind being totally blown. Like the sound that came from you guys at like 11 and 12 years old was insane. Everybody was shook.
Yeah.
As a kid too, it's like not. I mean, big props to my parents for always like being like trying to find opportunities, but they never pushed me to play. Like it was just like it was there, and I just found it kind of on my own. Like I was always playing guitar, like waiting for the bus in the morning. I'd like stay in the house as long as I could before I went to school, just so I could keep playing guitar. But
that was me playing Mario, but somehow it didn't equate there.
But like my parents would seek out any opportunity to play, and until I was like 16, I didn't sing. So it was me showing up with like an iPod with a blues backing track that was way too long, and just showing up to any open mic and playing guitar solos for like a criminally long amount of time.
That's amazing, though.
But I spent too many years doing that.
Are you still in touch with Earl, a Coffin?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's in Dartmouth now, and he's just actually getting back into music a bit. And of course, he's on that Stompbox Records. It's Jacob Cherwick, Joe Coffin, and Nick Benza were the three other players in that band, and I love those guys dearly.
Now, are you guys back? I heard.
So we got together last summer as like a 10-year anniversary kind of reformation for a day, and hung out and made a record together in about 4 hours, which was crazy. We hadn't played it. We hadn't all been in the same room together in 6 years, and we wanted to just at least have a time capsule or commemorate our time together, because we never made a record. And when you're like 14 to I guess 17 was kind of the age gap. By the end of it, we were like 16 and 18 and 19. The cost of making a record, and none of us really having an idea of how to do it ourselves, at least not well, it was just insurmountable. We had no idea how we were going to do it. So that project, when it faded away, all the tunes that we had written kind of faded away with it. So 10 years later, kind of just some rumblings happened, and we all ended up being in town just for a day together, and hung out. And every song it's tracked live off the floor. I think the most we did of one tune was maybe 3 takes, and it was just kind of and it is a little bit better than when we were 16, I will say. But and that record, you can find it's a Stompbox EP. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, all the rest of it. But it was just nominated for an East Coast Music Award.
Nice.
One of the tunes for Blues Release of the Year.
That's
Amazing.
wild, man.
Congrats.
It's an odd story arc to get there, but yeah.
Amazing. All right, well, let's take a quick break from his appearance on the show back in January. Here's Len O'Neill. At the time, he told us this song was untitled. I checked in with Len today, and he said, still untitled.
Nice.
So here it is, the unknown song on the Hulk Caesar Show.
Oh, now we are bound together under the spell of a song. I'm begging for light for the same old invisible dream. Out here reaching hands in the heavens, waiting for a miracle to come and bless our little hour. There's never enough money. The landlords are living free, haunted by the cost of everything. What are we gonna do? Things didn't quite work out the way I was dreaming about. More misery and much more doubt. But what are you gonna do? I'll put my guitar in the car and drive downtown to the bar. Wish upon a shooting star to one day make it pay. Oh, I don't care and I don't mind. This is how I spend my time. Tucked between the tune and the rhyme is where I wanna be. Oh, now we are bound together under the spell of a song. I'm begging for light for the same old invisible dream. Out here reaching hands in the heavens, waiting for a miracle to come and bless our little hour. Waiting for the miracle to come and bless our little hour. maybe it's enough for me to chase the invisible dream, to have my heart heard and seen. What else am I gonna do? Tried so many paths, most of them have come to pass. This one seems like it wants to last. What else am I gonna do? Well, put my guitar in the car and drive downtown to the bar. Wish upon a shooting star to one day make it pay. Oh, I don't care and I don't mind. This is how I spend my time. Tucked between the tune and the rhyme is where I wanna be. Oh, now we are bound together under the spell of a song. I'm begging for light for the same old invisible dream. Out here reaching, hands in the heavens, waiting for a miracle to come and bless our little hour. Waiting for the miracle to come and bless our little hour. Bless our little hour. Bless our little hour.
We are chatting with rock and roller Nick Earle. Nick, everyone's sound changes as they evolve. How does your approach to songwriting compare now to your earlier work?
Yeah, I mean, starting early off, we were basically exclusively playing blues music. And one thing I learned pretty quickly is that all of the good 12-bar blues songs have been written. All of them. And no offense to Joe either. And as time went on, it was like... just trying to expand a little bit. And I'm not saying anything I do is rocket science at all, but even just taking inspiration from the artists that I love and grew up with, and that's a broad spectrum. But like in the blues world, I only listened to like Stevie Ray Vaughan for like 2 years. That was just all I wanted to hear. But like I loved 70s rock and like Kiss, big, huge Kiss nerd, original Kiss. And like I love the Foo Fighters and even that like early 2000s, well like 90s, 2000s. Like rock, like the divorced.
You love Blink-182, right?
I love.
I knew that.
I do love.
How about bands like Incubus and those sorts of bands like those?
I got into that just like basically through my older cousins a little bit, but yeah, and just like diving into all that. So expanding, like hearing other things that I liked and going like, I don't have to just be in this box. I can be broader than that, and also just write stuff that sucks and just keep doing it over and over again until you go, oh, I actually think I like this, and yeah, fun. Just like mostly too, I try to sit down and write tunes that at least can be basically performed on an acoustic guitar. Right. And I'm not saying that suits all genres or all music, but it works at least for me. When I was getting into too much like riff-based things, especially when like you have bookers that don't want to book a full band. It's like, well, yeah, like we'll get you solo acoustic and play your tunes. It's like, well, I'm trying to write blues riff rock right now, and it only works if you're going to pay 4 of us. They don't always want to, and it's hard to negotiate with a 17-year-old. That's what it's doing. But yeah, so the first solo record I cut, it's called Breaking New Ground back in like 2018 or 19. And that was the first time I really sat down with an acoustic guitar and tried to like write something that wasn't about like, oh, my baby left me, my dog died. Even though some of the songs are probably like that. And yeah, just try to expand on from there. And like dabbled in blues once more after that and did another blues record. And that was like the Reckless Hearts' first debut. Nice. But now it's just I'm kind of writing a little bit of everything. I mean, everything kind of can be summed down to something formulaic, whether it's intentional or accidental, but just writing stuff that makes me happy, I guess.
Cool.
So when you're like coming up with a new album, do you have like a theme in mind? Do you start with the lyrics? Do you just come with the riffs that you've kind of built up and then work with the lyrics? How do you explain it?
Yeah, I find the best ideas that work for me are the ones that are the most cohesive. So if I sit down and have a tagline that I think is good for a course and there's already a melody attached to it, those are the ones that work best for me. I find if it comes quick and it feels good, then that's probably the way to go. The ones that you labor over for a really long time, by the end of it, you probably either get sick of it or, if you got to try that hard, is it really that good? And that's just my approach. I know there's like some people who've worked on records for 10 years and actually finally found the right, I don't know, it was whatever compound was missing to make it work.
Right.
But if it flows, if I can sit down and kind of sing a melody line, even if when you're getting into production and stuff, working on building it later and maybe having a big riff section somewhere or find a bridge a few months after you wrote the song. But
Nice.
yeah.
Do you find having that mustache changed your approach to songwriting at all?
I think so.
Okay, cool. All right. I just wanted to ask about it.
Makes sense. It's hard-hitting questions. That's why people come to the Hulk Caesar show right there.
Maybe that's why I can't write. I need to grow a mustache.
Those are the kind of questions that are going to get us nominated for ECMA next year.
Could I write better songs if I shave the beard and just keep the stash? I don't know.
Possibly.
Do you enjoy recording more or playing live more?
I'm going to say playing live. The creative process is really beautiful and fun until it isn't. Most times, even playing the shittiest of gigs, I can still enjoy.
Yeah. All right. Well, from her 2024 record, After the Sting of It, here's Kelly McMichael's video for Open, Hurts to Have a Heart, on the Hulk Caesar Show.
Right through the ceiling. Every edge feels as a jag. I was sifting through sewers, skimming the surface of some needs. I knew none of these shooters had a chance at making me bleed. But blowing in the wind was a softness I became. Was it love?
This is the Hulk Caesar Show, brought to you by our friends at the Resource Center for the Arts at the LSPU Hall. Check out lspuhall.ca for showtimes and tickets. Nick, you've shared the stage with some big names, including Nickelback at last year's Churchill Park Festival. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was incredible. That was a hometown gig that felt like a massive festival away. We got in, the crew treated us just like we were one of the other bands on the bill, which is great.
You were one of the other bands in the bill.
Because usually it's like, oh, look, the hometown boys got a gig. Good for them. And then you go in and it's like, so where's your backstage area? And it's like, there's this tarp behind that van and you can change it. But no, they were really, really good to us, and the whole crew was fantastic. And actually having, like, I don't know, I've played some local festivals, not to name any, but it's like you're probably better off just not doing the gig. But it was cool. I think our early attendance was something like 8,000 people were there for us at like at 5 o'clock in the day show
amazing.
At a festival. And the response was great. Also, some people might have different stories, but Nickelback were very cool. They were very good to us. The whole band was really nice. Hung out with a couple members before the show, just chatting side stage, watching our Kells. But afterwards, they made time for all of us and had a really nice chat. And
cool.
And yeah, so I don't know. I heard Nightmare Stories and I met them all. They were
Really?
super nice. So I was like, and like my first CD that was mine was All the Right Reasons by Nickelback. And some people say, oh wow, what a nice thing your parents to give you. And some people say it was a curse. But I don't know. I've been a Nickelback fan. Been a Nickelback fan through and through.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask where you are in the spectrum.
Oh no, I'm all in. I'm not a hater at all.
Cool,
There's a CBC like cutout of me that's just like Nick Earle opens up for first CD, biggest fan, big band, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever gets the clicks, I don't really care.
Right?
I like Nickelback.
Yeah.
I like Nickelback for sure. It's nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I know every word to every song. So, like, obviously.
I lived a long time in BC, and in BC, BC is probably one of the hardest provinces, I think, on Nickelback. So people were a little bit down on it, but I have no opinion. Like, what's the experience like? Like, you get there, you do sound check at an event like that?
Yeah,
and then
they were really good. So usually like the headliners will sound check the day before. I mean, Nickelback have such a huge pyro rig that they're taking up 75% of the stage just with the pyro. So they load in the day before. We go in and check out and see sound check, hear sound check, and them firing off cannons and stuff. And then the next day we get in probably like 2:30, get into the venue, and then we're sound checking maybe like 3 to 4, but they had time allotted for us. And what was really cool, these opening slots sometimes are almost like tweener sets or just warm-up sets. You get 20 minutes, good luck, like warm up the crowd. We had a full hour. They gave us like whatever we needed. We had our packs for our in-ears to go wireless and just like run around and own the portion of the stage that we had, and really just put off a rock and roll show. The video person was great to make sure that we had our own graphics behind. Like everything, it was really, really well done. Super cool. I don't know. Big shout out to Churchill Park. That whole crew too. I think it's Tour Tech supplied a lot of what was going on and like did the video and stuff, and they were really, really good to us. Like out of all the festivals I've played, that's probably the best we've ever been treated for considering the profile that we have in the grand scheme of the music industry. But yeah, it was really cool.
So awesome.
That's good to hear because it's a newer thing, right? So I'm happy that everybody's getting treated well. It's important. Aside from Churchill Park, what have been some of your other most memorable shows?
I did a small gig at the Rock House once. It was Matt Mays and Adam Baldwin. And they were doing an acoustic thing, and they literally flew in, got Mary Brown's, like half hung over, I'm assuming. No shade. It was a rough big week of dates for them, and then just come in and turn around and put off one of the most killer acoustic shows I've ever seen. And for some reason, just being a part of that was like, oh, that, like, regardless of what the scenario is, that was the craziest work ethic and the world-class performance that it was. To just like, they just got off a plane like a couple hours ago and they were playing last night and God knows where. And I opened up for them with Dave Whitty, and it was such a unique experience because I do play with Dave, but not a lot like that. And we were just like going song for song, trading off originals, and it was a really just beautiful gig. And then have a bit of a report, Matt Sense, and we did a show with him and Third Eye Blind the following year at the George Street Festival. And that was the first time I played a show in town where I was like, oh, I think people are starting to see what's happening with us. Like people are actually starting to pay attention. Because I put out a few records and played gigs for years and just throwing shit at a wall. Just like hopefully I'm seeing what's going to happen. And it was the first time, they said we set the early attendance record for George Street Festival too. We had like 4,500 people or something.
Wow.
Awesome. Which I'm just going to be like, I'm taking credit. Definitely not because people wanted good spots for whatever. But yeah, no, it was a really cool show. And as time goes on and we have more of an original song catalog, it feels like the show is getting stronger too. And I mean, the band was a trio. It was myself, Claire Follett, and Dan George for years. And then we added Andrew Rogers in, who's from Fairgale, has a great solo record out now as well. So it's just become this kind of like rock solid unit now. So, the show is evolving and we're evolving as musicians and players. So like the more marquee gigs and seeing the bigger stages, just want to keep doing it more, right?
That's excellent, man. And you've toured across Canada. How do you compare playing in different venues across Canada to playing back home in Newfoundland?
It kind of depends where you're going, and I got no knock on Newfoundlanders. If you're playing in St. John's,
You heard it here first.
if you're playing in St. John's, it seems like people are really open to hearing new music. I find you play a festival anywhere across Canada, and they're festival goers who are excited to see something. If you have a 2 p.m. slot in the daytime, someone's going to come out. You're probably going to have a good crowd because they're just happy to be there and see what's new. I'm not naming any specific communities, but certain ones you go into and you start playing an original set, and someone goes, "You're playing made-up songs. What are you playing them made-up songs for?"
Oh my God.
So no knock, and it's not everyone, but it's everywhere. I'm convinced.
Does it rhyme with Schmand Falls?
So I don't know, and I know there's music lovers all across this province. People love music, but yeah, I don't know, and I think it might just be an expectation. But it's like if you're not playing Bar Bangers, 99, actually no, it's probably 80s, whatever it is. If it's not AC/DC or whatever their parents' country music was, it's kind of tough to break in. And no, that's no offense to anybody. It's just I found the rest of the country is a little bit more accepting to taking on a new rock and roll.
Very, very diplomatic. Very diplomatic answer.
Yeah. I love that you're trying to keep the rock and roll alive too. It's good to see the younger generation still wanting to play rock and roll, whatever form it's taken. I think that's really cool, man.
I don't want to talk too much trash, but there's something I think it was so standard from the 70s to probably late 90s that you can go watch a 4-piece rock band who are actually playing instruments and actually singing and who actually practiced, and at the time there's not really any in-ears until I guess like 90s or whatever, and you're not playing to a click track, and there's no backing tracks being played, and we use playback in our show for an intro, and then as soon as the intro is done, it's a live show and the band is playing. And it's weird that that's become like a rare commodity now, like even at small level showcases in dive bars across this entire country, there's someone running a full tracks rig, which like I work as a session player too, so sometimes I'm working with those artists, and you just work in those conditions, but it's become a charm to like, it's a band's really excited to play this gig, huge stage, Dan counts off Born to Lose. Maybe it's a little bit fast, but guess what? That works for the gig.
Yeah.
If I'm playing a solo halfway through the show and I want to extend it or double it up, well, we're doubling it up without having to go to your clicking your cues and double up a section while your drummer's playing because he's running your rig. So yeah, I don't know. And I've always loved that music, and I just love loud amps, and I love playing guitar, and I'm not the best guitar player, but when I'm playing it, I mean something. I don't know. I don't know. Music's weird because I still love pop music. I'll listen to all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like what we do, and I hope that people recognize and watch it and are happy.
Very, very modest too. Like the guy who's probably the best guitar player on the island right now. I'm not a very good guitar player, I don't think. Yeah, right.
I think that's the only thing that as long as we keep wanting to learn and be better, because like I don't know, like every time I see Chris Feener, if you don't know Chris Feener, look Chris Feener. Every time I see Chris Feener, I want to burn everything I own.
He's crazy. Like the stuff he does, I can't even watch the videos.
It's one of the best conversations I had with him. I was like, man, you're incredible. Like I'll never be able to play with you. And he goes, at least you play stuff people like.
It is now time on the Hulk Caesar Show for a musical performance live in our Hot for the Moment studios high above Posie Row in downtown St. John's. Nick Earle, what do you have for us first?
Yeah, this is one of the singles off the last record called No More Hiding, and the tune's called Born to Lose.
She's alive while you're in the night. A little bit of crazy in my life. A little rock and roll to cure my blues. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose. I got a problem and I just can't fix it. How can I hold on when I just can't grip this feeling that's deep in my bones? Not good at letting go and I don't want to. I get attached because I just can't get this through to myself anymore. Through to myself anymore. favorite songs are all the ones I'm singing. Her favorite drinks are all the ones she's drinking, long as they're coming for free. I'm getting caught up in all the commotion. Oh, it's not all when I get in the motion to pack it up and go. To pack it up and go. She's a live wire in the night. A little bit of crazy in my life. A little rock and roll to cure my blues. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose. She's a live wire in the night. A little bit of crazy in my life. A little rock and roll to cure my blues. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose. She's a live wire in the night. A little bit of crazy in my life. A little rock and roll to cure my blues. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose. She's a live wire in the night. A little bit of crazy in my life. A little rock and roll to cure my blues. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose. She's the kind of girl I was born to lose.
Woo.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's
Wow. So good.
Unreal.
Wow.
Good.
Crazy.
Amazing.
This is insane. We have that.
Good thing
now.
he's not a very good guitar player, eh?
Yeah, right? Like, well, thanks, guys.
So you're playing with Alan Doyle soon to open up the new Jag SoundStage.
Yes.
How did that all come together?
I got a call from Sean Basha, who's been taking care of that venue, and asked if we would do the opening slot. I seen Doyle and Corey Tetford, who's playing guitar with him for quite some time now. We did a tribute to Ron Hines back in December, and I like to make the scenario in my head that they saw what I did at that show and was like, cool, they should open up for us at that Jag
Absolutely.
SoundStage.
That sounds about right.
So that's the story I'm going to make up in my head and tell everyone online. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That show is so tight and well put together too. So it's exciting for us to go and you know, bring our A game and showcase a couple new tunes too, because we'll have a new record following in a few months.
Amazing.
Exciting. Is that an official announcement you're making here on this podcast?
Here on this podcast, yeah. And I'll have details to come, but May 24th, not the long weekend, but the weekend after. Keep your eyes out for something that's going to be dropping then.
Ooh.
Excellent. Amazing.
Cool.
What's it like to get picked to share the opening weekend with Alan and Collective Soul?
That's wild. And there's only one opening weekend for a brand new venue.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's day 2, but we're going to say we're baptizing that whole weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty special. You know, in 50 years, hopefully that venue's still standing. And when they have the posters and stuff framed of like the first opening weekend, we're going to be there. So it's pretty nice to have even a little bit of a part in that.
Yeah.
And there's another show coming shortly after that you're involved with. Is that right?
Yes, at the Soundhouse as well. It's the Last Waltz tribute they're putting off to the band and to the rockumentary. So yeah, happy to be part of that. And I'm I don't know how much I can say on this show, but it doesn't matter. There's a couple surprises. I'm singing a couple tunes in that show. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that has tickets already. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Were you very familiar with The Last Waltz?
Oh yeah,
Before that? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's literally one that like this is the best rock doc of all time.
Totally.
And
Nice.
Amazing. How about what else you got going on this summer? Any other shows scheduled yet?
It's kind of like an industry year building thing, and whatever festivals that are still going to trickle down, we'll take them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're mainly industry events and showcasing, which is such a random thing as a rock and roll band to be doing now. Before it was like pack up and play 100 empty venues until you start filling seats, but now it's like, no, let's apply for this festival and hope they let us play. But yeah, we'll be doing a lot of that stuff and working on just more content and getting out on the road. It's mainly pitching to agencies and things like that.
Yeah.
And the more hoops we jumped through, and the biggest hoop we've jumped through, or the best one, was that Nickelback gig. And it's the same agency, not to talk too much inside baseball, whatever.
Oh, we love it.
We're a very inside baseball show.
We opened up for the Trues last year in Halifax, and it was the same group that's dealing there. Also, the Trues, great guys. Obviously, great band. Everyone knows that, but
Unreal.
the
They're good
nicest
guys,
people. It was like the best band hang. That show was really cool too, and that was in the Marquee Ballroom in Halifax last year.
Awesome.
That's a great venue too.
So, just trying to rub shoulders with those guys, even if you got to stand on stilts to do so. Trying to do that. So yeah,
Awesome.
That's great, man. Yeah, they are great people. What can you tell us about this next song that you're going to perform?
Yeah, I'll do something new.
Awesome.
This will be off the new record, which will be titled "Under the Influence." Has nothing to do with booze, but you can pretend it is. We found through the making of the album, it was just write a song and then bring it and see where the production kind of takes it. Whether it's our ideas or Robert Kelly, our producer, who's doing it. And this is a tune called "Nostalgia Attack." I don't know if you guys ever get caught up in looking back too much and get.
We're a retro podcast. So.
And
That's the source of all of my depression, pretty much.
legit, and it's like, I don't know, it's like we're always looking for the good old days. There's two ways to look at this. You can look at this as a sad song and it's not, or maybe it is to you and that's okay. And the other side is just like, maybe we're still in the good old days and that's okay. But it's a new tune called "Nostalgia Attack," and it'll be on the new record. And here's the unplugged version, first time ever. So
Amazing.
Do you remember no cell phones when you were fine being on your own? Didn't have to go home till the streetlights turned on. Hit the old arcade, missed every dollar your parents paid. Had a crush in 10th grade, but it didn't work out. Pieces hard to find when they're always on my mind. I'm just looking for the good old days. Oh, but I can't find them, change my ways. But I can't define them, there's no getting over your champagne supernova. And I can't seem to get it back. It's just another nostalgia attack. Do you remember fitting in? 'Cause looking back, baby, no one did. Feeling strange in your skin, well, I hope that's gone now. Burn off your favorite songs, the same 10 playing all night long. And it never felt wrong till it faded away. Pieces hard to find when they're always on my mind. Well, I'm just looking for the good old days. Oh, but I can't find them, change my ways. But I can't define them, there's no getting over your champagne supernova. And I can't seem to get it back. It's just another nostalgia attack. I don't know why it just takes time to make the worst days better. Haven't felt this in forever, and I don't know why it just takes time to make the worst days better. Haven't felt this in forever. Looking for the good old days. Oh, but I can't find them, change my ways. But I can't define them, there's no getting over your champagne supernova. And I can't seem to get it back. It's just another nostalgia Another nostalgia attack.
Holy shit.
Awesome.
That is so
good.
good.
Dicky loves that bendy shit too.
He loves the bendy. Can you play the intro again? We'll cut this after. Can you play the intro again?
Yeah.
That reminds me of Making Plans with Nigel.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
Ecstasy.
do you know that song?
I don't.
A band called Ecstasy. Very good band.
Well, I'll check it.
You got to check it out. Making Plans with Nigel.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's a great tune,
thanks.
man.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So good. Those high notes, holy f.
I'm still dealing with my own champagne supernova, so
Was that a reference? A direct reference?
Oh yeah,
okay,
absolutely,
cool.
absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
it.
also big Oasis geek.
yeah, me too.
Did you get tickets to go see them?
Yeah, I was going to
What? Did you really?
Yeah. And
Oh, really? We're gonna do a show because another friend of mine has tickets to go see him in Toronto. Is that where you're going?
Yeah, well, I got tickets for Wembley that I actually got in through the queue with Ticketmaster. It was like a 1 in a million chance, quite literally, statistically 1 in a million to get them. And it was like 5:30 in the morning. I came back from a gig and then just waited up and managed to score tickets. But as a contingency plan, I bought what could be scalper tickets off StubHub for Toronto as well. So
yeah.
Wembley shows in July. I'll make it to that one, thank God. But August, I'm going to fly there,
Yeah,
and
and
hopefully my
hope.
tickets show up that day.
I figure you'll make it unless something should happen, like somebody rolls you on the stairs on the way down here and takes your tickets.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
What were you going to say? There's a show. You started a sentence.
Oh
about.
yeah, we got a friend of mine who's
Oasis
going to see him
coming
in
in here?
Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to bring some people in to talk about the Oasis concert experience in the fall.
Oh.
So maybe we can get you to come in and join
I'd
that panel.
love that. Absolutely.
That'd be
Cool.
cool.
Yeah, if they don't beat the shit out of each other. For
Yeah.
Hopefully they do,
If they
because
don't beat
that'd
that.
be better for us.
Yeah. They seem to be doing okay now. So
Yeah. Well, it's.
I saw Ween break up on stage. In Vancouver in like 2011, they broke up on stage, and then there's
I heard about that.
There's the opening night of their tour, and
that even
Gene was loaded drunk.
Oh, okay, that's how
and
that
then, but
happens.
halfway through stage, the band walked off, and then they didn't make it to Seattle the next night. They broke up. They're back together now. And they broke up again, but
yeah. Of course.
All right. Newfoundland has such a strong music community. Who are some local artists that you are excited about right now?
Right now, I mean, I'm gonna be biased and say Andrew Rogers because you put a new record out that I absolutely love. I did play on it, so maybe I can't say that. For someone's record who I didn't play on, another Andrew though. Andrew LeDrew put out a record last year. Incredible. Yeah. There's a tune on it. It's like Unusual Miracle. That's really, really great. I love that one. And then who else am I really...
Are there any other Andrews?
Yeah, it's got to be only Andrews. That's
Andrews.
only Andrews that I'm allowed to pick. I'm trying to think of who else I've done something with lately or that I've listened to.
wait a minute, isn't your name Andrew Dicky?
Yeah, that was kind of the joke. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. I know Aubrey Lamb is doing a new record. She's incredible.
She's
She sings
so good.
really, really well. Rachel Cousins just cut a new one. And Darcy Scott, throwing Darcy Scott out there too. Brilliant songwriter. Writes like he's been alive for 110 years. But yeah, this is just some local names who I really like to listen to right now.
Sweet. Is there any particular venues that like what would you consider to be your favorite venue to either just like play at or go see an artist at?
If I want to see a singer-songwriter, just go play the ship.
Yeah.
Just do it there. It's the best. Or I love playing. I'm like from home all the time doing acoustic solo bangers. The Newfoundland Embassy is great.
Such a good
I just love people sitting down and like I just do me. I'm just like, here's what I wrote. Here's my favorite song. If you like it, awesome. And if you don't, that's okay too. We're all friends. And then I just did, the Rock House is the best. I wish someone would bring back Club One though, just in case you want to squeeze a few more bodies in a place for a rock show. And the New Majestic is really nice.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a rock band try to do it there yet, and I don't know if that'll work in a soft seater, but for the acoustic stuff, it's been really nice.
Cool.
Great.
Awesome. Now, if you could put together, now you can't use anyone from your own band, but if you're going to put together like a super group of rock, Newfoundland rock, who are you going to put in there? Who's going to be your drummer?
Boomer Stamp.
Nice. Good choice.
Have a bass.
Let's get Mick Davis to play bass.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice guitar. You can play one guitar, but you need another
Yeah,
guitar
I'd like to
player,
play
too.
one guitar for sure. Oh man, am I just gonna go in Wonderful Grand Band and get Sandy Morris to play?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And who's going to sing for you guys?
Oh. John Reed from Bowater. You guys know him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's unreal.
You know what? I don't know why that just came out of me just then, but that would be a pretty randomly cool
That would
project.
be a Can you make
You guys should
that
do an
happen?
RPM next year.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know what. I watched Mick Davis play bass with Dennis Parker on and off for a few years, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was him and Elliot were the rhythm section, Elliot Dix, and it was just like it's Dennis Parker with like the best attitude rhythm section, and like it's just like pick bass, nasty, really groovy, and ever since then I'm like Mick Davis might be my favorite bass player, and I don't even know if he'd even call himself that, but yeah.
I like watching Booby Brown play.
Oh, yeah.
You got a real groove on
Oh,
stage.
man. I did a couple gigs with Booby Brown in the most random festival of all time, the Shea Heights Folk Festival. Not even a joke. Yeah.
Don't leave your bag in your car.
And that was fun. He's always been really great to me. But yeah.
Awesome.
All right. We have time for one more song. Nick, could you introduce it for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna do. This was the first single I put out post basically doing blues music for a really long time, and I thought it would be cool to do a little stripped down acoustic version of it that's quite different to an extent from the original. It's a little tune called Queen of the Night, and I would say I wrote this one when I was spending a lot of time on George Street. Not that I do anything different now, but this is called Queen of the Night. Well, it's electric, the way your body moves through the night. It's captivating everybody under the streetlights. You know the city is just a set in your once in a stage. And that old house band, well, for you they'll play anything. 'Cause your energy's contagious and your eyes that pull us in. You're the one they all praise through the clouds and the haze, or your light never will go dim. You're the queen of angels falling back down to the water. You're the queen of sinners and saints, you won't hear them complain. You're the queen of strangers turn lovers, no more hiding undercover. You're the queen of the night. Well, don't you stop now. You're the spirit we're all living through. Ain't just your beauty that puts a stop to what we're going through. Got our attention, oh, so don't you ever let go. Oh, we'll be dancing in the street while you share your soul. 'Cause your energy's contagious and your eyes that pull us in. You're the one they all praise through the clouds and the haze, or your light never will go dim. You're the queen of angels falling back down to the water. You're the queen of sinners and saints, you won't hear them complain. You're the queen of strangers turn lovers, no more hiding undercover. You're the queen of the night. Falling back down to the water. You're the queen of sinners and saints, you won't hear them complain. You're the queen of strangers turn lovers, no more hiding undercover. You're the queen of the night. You're the queen of the night.
Holy jeez.
Thanks, guys.
Boy, it's a good thing. It's a good thing we got the disclaimer that he sucks at guitar.
Holy shit. That's perfect.
What a terrible
Unbelievable.
singer,
How do you
too.
do that? That is witchcraft.
So amazing.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
It is now time to play everyone's favorite game.
Everyone's favorite game.
Everyone's favorite
Everyone better be.
Caesar's casual conversations with tonight's guest, Nick Earle. I thought it was casual conversations with friends.
No,
We changed
you made that
it.
up.
We changed it.
It was never called that.
My bad. All right. Caesar's casual conversations with tonight's guest, Nick Earle. All the remaining questions are in the commemorative E.T., the extraterrestrial hat. Choose one and answer it as much as you'd like, or draw another if you feel like you don't like that question.
All right.
I'm the only one who ever refuses questions.
Yeah.
We haven't read any of these questions. They all got cut blind.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go like a Tim Hortons crispy chicken snack or wrap, whatever that thing is.
Wow.
I'm basic. What can I eat that if I'm on the rush going to work? What can I eat if I'm hungover?
True.
What can I eat when I'm flying through an airport?
Packaging is so convenient.
What's not messy? What can I eat while I'm driving? And what usually doesn't make me sick? Tim Hortons crispy chicken wrap, whatever that thing is.
So you'd need some sort of Tim Hortons in your house then, I guess. You'd need like a little Tim Hortons window to
I'll
constantly
order
pushing them
it
out.
through the distributor. I just get like the breaded chicken, just throw that in the air fryer. You got the rest of the stuff. It's totally fine.
You answered that. You answered that as though like you had thought about that before. Like you were eating one. Like I could eat this the rest of my life. That would be the
The
only
thing is,
thing.
it's not even that good. It's just like, you know what? There's just, you know what?
I was surprised.
It just does the job.
It's just like there's protein, kind of vegetables, so you don't feel too bad and guilty about it after.
It's like eating a hungry man. You're
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you got all the shit you need in
I
there.
really answered that. It's just like what am I really gonna do that's quick and convenient? I don't really like to sit down to eat.
Me either.
I don't know, that's a weird.
I have controversial views on eating. I think when you eat, it should be like the bathroom. Your room should have like 4 or 5 different eating rooms. Everyone goes and sits by
Yeah.
themselves with
Yeah.
the door shut and eats.
So funny.
Yeah.
It's like, why should it be private going out but not private going in?
That's true. I
Right.
never thought of that.
I realize that
before.
may be a wild answer, but
That's interesting.
I
I,
like
thought you were gonna
it.
pick something like my mom's mac and cheese or something, not a
But
Tim
I
Hortons.
can't have that every day for the rest of my life because it wouldn't be practical for her to make that every day.
Oh, he's thinking about his
She
mom.
could freeze a lifetime supply.
We could force her, I guess. But
Next time I come back, I'll let you know what that is.
all right, Dicky, what do you got?
All right. Man, I always get these.
Hands at oars?
Yes. What a cool one. Pancakes or waffles? Oh man.
You can pick another one if you want.
No. Face hurt. I gotta go with the one I got. Because in honor of Shrove Tuesday, or as otherwise called Pancake Day, I will go with pancakes because that's what I loved growing up. Waffles, I only ever really had the Eggo ones all the time. I mean, I've had like real waffles.
My wife is a waffle maker. We have them sometimes. They're quite tasty.
Yeah, I like a good waffle, but I've really just kind of had a lot of great pancakes, and I'm trying to drag this answer.
There's not really the same profit in Pancake Day that there used to be.
Yeah,
Used to be you'd make 75 cents, $1.50. You take that to the store, you get yourself a bag of Lay's and a Pepsi. But now, I mean, what are you going to get? A couple toonies in there?
I
mean,
get nothing now because I have kids, so they get all that.
They get all that.
Yeah.
I think the best
We
waffle I
never
ever
got
had was it was a Holiday Inn in Winnipeg, and they had one of those Mickey Mouse shaped waffle makers, but they have no association with Disney. So how did they get it? Is what I want to know.
It's unnamed breakfast mouse.
Oh, yeah.
No, don't put it back.
Oh, I screwed up. I screwed up your entire
okay.
segment. I wanted to know what your meal was.
It's okay.
No, I got it. Diggy's trying to look at the questions. I was going to mark them. Put one up his sleeve.
Yeah, he's cheating.
I was ended up with the same thing.
This is all food related.
Oh.
What's your go-to comfort food?
Ooh.
I always have a bowl of Fruit Loops before I go to bed, but that's not like really comfort food. That's a fixation.
How would you feel if you didn't have it before bed?
What?
I was like, how would you feel if you never had it before bed?
If I didn't have
Would it make you
fruit-
feel uncomfortable if you didn't have fruit?
Yeah,
Loops before bed?
probably. Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
sleep after that?
I, like happy.
All right.
Good thoughts.
You don't want to hear the things that I've done that immediately gone to sleep.
Comforting food. I feel like I really like curry, so like buttered chicken.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty comforting.
Yeah, these are a lot of food related questions.
I know.
Let's see what I'm gonna get here.
Break the mold.
Or would you rather have super speed or super strength?
You always get the superhero
Always
questions.
get the superhero questions.
It's kind of drawn to me, I would have said super intelligence, but I guess that's not on the board. I go with the super speed. I think, I like to be efficient and get things done. So, why not get them done faster?
Like the Flash? Is that what it means?
Yeah, the Flash. Like, I always felt bad for the Flash. Not to get off topic here, but he wasn't as fast as Superman. That was his thing, that he was fast.
He was, though.
No, Superman beat him in that race around the world. I'm pretty sure.
That Superman spun there was something to that. I don't know, man. I think Flash, he got robbed there. What was the other option? It was strength, right?
Strength, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Strength's all right. We're going to have Evan O'Coin here next week, and he's like a power lifter. So we're going to see if Evan can lift me over his head.
Are we actually going to do that?
We might. Let's go take another one there.
Are we actually doing that? I love it.
Increase the insurance before we do it.
Insurance.
Books or movies? I'm going to go movies. I do most of my reading through audiobooks anyway because I'm too fidgety to sit down to read.
What are some of your favorite movies?
Okay. This is where it gets bad. Okay, let's go. We'll go live action first. Random. Smokey and the Bandit, Burt Reynolds. Love that movie.
Oh. I watched that for the first time during COVID.
So I love it.
It was good.
I love it. It's like, that's a comfort movie for me.
Cool.
Any Which Way But Loose, Clint Eastwood, great. And I'm a big Quentin Tarantino nerd too.
Yeah.
So basically any of those.
What's your favorite Tarantino? And why is it Django?
That's the last one I watched. Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones.
There's so many good ones too. I really love Reservoir Dogs. Every time I keep coming back and watching that one. I don't know. Maybe it's just I love
Classic.
that kind of premise, and I love just hearing stories too about like budget versus like what they made with what they had. That's kind of like same thing. Oh, and the first Halloween movie, love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Dicky, what's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie?
I like Jackie Brown a lot.
Yeah, I like Jackie Brown a lot too. Yeah, it's a good movie.
That one. I really liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
I
saw The Hateful Eight when they did it on the wide print and put the intermission in theaters. They did it at a small theater in Vancouver. We went and saw it.
Nice.
It's fun.
Tarantino's got one of those collections of films that's like, each one is, every time I watch one, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite one.
Yeah.
And then I go to the next one, I'm like, no, this is my favorite one.
I wish someone could wipe my memory so I could forget the twist in Hateful Eight so I could watch it for the first time again, because that was like, it's such a strong dialogue-based movie as well.
I love when he smashes that guitar in that movie and it's like the real one and you see the look on her face. She's like...
Smashed like a 140-year-old Martin.
Yeah. He thought it was the prop one who smashed it. And you can see Bridget Fonda's face. She's like...
Oh my God.
Emily, do you have a favorite Tarantino?
I mean, the last one I watched was probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Beautiful cinematography. Though.
Yeah.
That's one of the best looking Tarantinos, I think.
Yeah.
In my head.
I'm eager to see the new one. It's gonna be great. I hope. Okay. What? Okay, this isn't one of those and or's one, but it's what's a nickname you've been given? Dicky. So there you go.
Blackjack.
Oh, Blackjack, that's the new one, yeah. As of an hour ago.
What do you mean? That's it.
That's what you're known as, Blackjack Dicky.
That's the permanent handle.
Yeah.
Oh God, camping or hotel? I guess it depends, really. Camping is fun. I like being outside, but I like a hotel also for,
How about tonight?
I'm good with sleeping in a hotel. It's pretty
not very nice out there.
No, be rained out.
All right, here we go. What's the worst movie that you've ever seen? Well, I tell you, I can give you two answers on that one. The original worst movie that I ever saw, I saw it in theater. It was a movie by the name of Dude, Where's My Car? I hated it so much.
2 thumbs up.
Really,
worst movie
really hated it.
So bad.
Until I saw Ghost Rider in theater, and Ghost Rider was just that much worse.
Oh man, I've never seen Ghost. That's the
Nick Cage. Nick Cage. Yeah.
I, even as a kid, I didn't even enjoy that movie, and I thought I was really gonna like it.
I remember when it came out.
How about least favorite movies, quickly, Dickie?
Oh, I would have gone with Dude, Where's My Car? Honestly,
horrible movie. Nick.
Oh God, I don't know. What did I try to watch? Oh my God! Whatever. I don't know. I didn't love the one with Nicole. There's the new one with Nicole Kidman that I had to turn off. No offense. Basically, it was like a 50 Shades Darker times 2. I didn't know what it was.
100 Shades Darker.
Yeah. 100 Shades of Turn This Off. But yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I'd also go. Sorry, I'd also go with Wonka, probably as of recent.
I've never seen it. Yeah, but I can imagine it's bad.
Yeah, I walked into it not realizing it was a musical, and it was like the longest 2 hours of my life.
Oh, I got my worst favorite. Cars 2. Cars 2 can absolutely kick rocks.
Really?
Wow, hot take.
original absolute masterpiece, okay, of like a rookie race car that becomes humble through his massive victories. Cars 2, spy movie, absolute trash.
You're right. Yeah.
Cars 3, return to form,
Cars
and now we
3
have
is
an aging sports athlete as a race car who's coming through, and eventually has a protege and becomes basically the mentor. And the story arc finally fixes itself. But yeah, Cars 2, that's officially the worst movie of all time. Nicole Kidman, I'm so sorry, because Cars 2 is the worst piece of trash I've ever seen.
My kids don't even like Cars 2. Like all the other Cars ones. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Jeez.
3 is good though.
Never again.
So good, yeah.
Well, that's about all the time we have on today's Cars podcast.
We got the lore, the Cars lore.
Well, that is about all the time we have. Nick Earle, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
you
for
very
having me,
much.
guys. Thank you.
You can check out Nick at the Jag SoundStage. You can check out their website for more information on his show with Alan, and then the Last Waltz show as well. You got anything else you'd like to plug?
Yeah, I got a new merch shop that just dropped. www.nickearleshop.com. It's a very simple site just to get your merch. We ship in everywhere, so please cop something. We got crew necks and shirts right now, and then Instagram's the best way to keep in touch and see what's on the go. And it's just Nick_Earl, and I'm posting all the time.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, we got something here for you. We'll get you to sign this after. We'll put it on the wall. And there's your guest scene. It's pages from my 1996 high school agenda. And Nikki got a CD there for you as well.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
There you go.
That's sick. Thank you.
Thanks so much for doing this.
I need to like add something to the gift.
You do?
Yeah, I know, right? You got to get something going on here.
Emily doesn't have anything.
You just used up your one swear of the week as well.
I only get one.
Only one. He used next week's as well.
I've used many.
That's bullshit, man.
All right. Well, a big thank you to the Resource Center for the Arts at the LSPU Hall for sponsoring this week's episode. Don't forget that Bernie Stapleton's fantastic play is happening this weekend. I'm going to see it tomorrow night.
Ooh,
Yeah, pretty fun.
that's exciting.
Check out the lspuhall.ca for more information. And if you would like to sponsor the Hulk Caesar Show and help us keep the lights on, we have packages as low as $100 a month. I mean,
Something.
that's cheaper than a magazine these days.
Really.
You can reach us at info@hulkshow.com. Next week, we'll be joined by the host of the Jigs and Reels radio show, Dean Clark, who will tell us all about his long-standing program featuring Newfoundland music. And then musically, we'll be featuring our strongest Avenger, the local power lifter and lead man of the amazing Midnight Watch, and friend of the show, Evan O'Coin, who will perform live in our Hot for the Moment studios high above Posie Row in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, and possibly lift me over his head.
We're gonna see.
I haven't discussed that with Evan yet. Well, for Nick,
I think you should discuss it with your wife first.
she's into it. For Nick, Dicky, Emily, and myself, I'm the Hulkster. Thank you for watching The Hulk Caesar Show.